Are they giving up on India or is it to the contrary? Today, enthusiasts buy turbo petrols and uncles are looking for panoramic sunroofs. India and Japan are going to be the lead markets for the Zero Alpha. The Elevate is exported from India to Japan. India is going to make the Zero Alpha for Japan.
Is an EV going to be a big volume product?
Honda, they're really good at keeping mum.
Will that come to India?
We'll talk about that in 5 minutes. They think that turbos will be gone by 2030. In America, they call this Campax. Feet didn't move, his hands didn't move, he didn't utter a chew or chow, nothing. And we were like, everybody came out grinning and saying, shit, Honda's back. So from the translator, we have no comment on it right now. Type R is not coming to India. Japan, they don't have a concept of potholes.
Or speed breakers.
Yeah, really, you need to send some of our road builders. We should maybe do like one 747, put some lawmakers and administrators, send them to Japan and say, please, dekho yaar. So it's an electric car that goes vroom vroom and you shift gears. We, as Evo, as the thrill of driving, should be beating the drum and saying, leke aao, leke aao.
Honda, I hope you're listening.
Neither are we going to get the Asimo operating system. So Asimo, Honda's robot, now that's inside the car. The uncles who bought the Honda City bought it also because we enthusiasts kept raving about it. Welcome to the Evo India podcast.
And we are talking about Honda. What is going on with Honda and what are their future plans for India?
So I spent nearly a week with Honda and Japan for the Japan Motor Show. And then we went to the Tochigi proving ground to spend some time driving their new prototype vehicles, a properly camouflaged car, a wild electric tiny little car, cars that might be coming to India, and also spending a lot of time with the Honda management, understanding what their plans are for India. Right. Are they giving up on India or is it to the contrary? So a lot of information about Honda, and just to set the record straight, this is a brand that I really admire. When I started off my career, at that time, the Honda City was the car to have. And a year later, when the City VTEC came, that was the bee's knees.
Absolutely.
If you saw somebody in a City VTEC, that guy was a guru. I've done my editorial also on Honda in the November issue of the magazine. And I've said that in the past, when I was in my formative years, that time uncles and enthusiasts both bought Honda Cities. Today, enthusiasts buy turbo petrols and uncles are looking for panoramic sunroofs.
And Honda has neither.
Yeah. And that's where Honda is at.
Yeah.
It's a brand that still makes great cars. The City, there's nothing really wrong with the City.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's very little that's class leading with the City. Okay, Honda still makes very good, small capacity, naturally aspirated petrol engines when mated to a manual gearbox.
Yeah.
You notice the number of caveats in that?
Yeah.
Right? They still make great engines, but. And when I was growing up, back to my formative years, every single story that we did about Honda had the phrase Honda, maker of the world's best engines. We don't talk about that anymore.
Yeah.
The Red Bull Formula 1 car still has a Honda engine.
It does.
Yeah.
And actually, to be fair, Honda still makes some great engines. They're just not in India.
Yep, they're not in India.
They do make turbo petrols.
Yep,
I'm sure they do make panoramic sunroofs, just not in India.
Just not in India. So what is happening with Honda in India? That's what we're going to talk about in this episode of the Evo India podcast. Yeah. I'm Sirish Chandran, editor at Evo India.
And I'm Aatish Mishra, executive editor at Evo India. And we're going to start with the star of the show at the JMS, the Japan Mobility Show. It was called the Zero Alpha.
Yep. So front and center at the Honda stand, right in the center, was this SUV. And the Honda press release, it said nothing except for two words, that India and Japan are going to be the lead markets for the Zero Alpha.
So that's a big statement.
That's a big statement. And that's the reason why Honda took this massive contingent of Indian journalists also.
40 of them?
Yeah, the total contingent was 40. So maybe around 30 journalists to talk about and to understand what's happening with Honda. So an important step in Honda's progression in India. Now, it's no secret that Honda haven't had the best of times in India.
Yeah.
Their dealers aren't too happy because they really don't have much to sell. The City is no longer selling as well. The Virtus is the best-selling sedan in its class.
Yeah.
Ashish Gupta, boss of Skoda, said that soon the Slavia is going to be the best-selling sedan. There's no noise around any of their products. The Amaze, there was a full revamp of the Amaze.
Yeah.
You don't really see too many of those Amazes around.
Yeah.
And no hero cars. This is going to mark the start of Honda's revival. It's going to come in early 2027.
Okay, still a while away.
It's still a while away, though we might start to see or maybe get to see the interiors of the car next year sometime, because the interiors weren't shown. There were no press handouts, no pictures. The glasses were fully tinted, so we really couldn't get a glimpse into the interior of the car. In terms of what the Zero Alpha is, this is a straight up Creta electric Mahindra BE6 rival.
Oh wow, it looks bigger.
It looks bigger, but it'll be 4.3 meters in length. Again, no concrete information, but it will be 4.3 meters in length, going at the meat of the market.
So wait, one sec. Honda already has the Elevate in that segment. So what's going to happen to the Elevate Electric?
Okay, so the talk inside our groups were that we are going to see the Honda, the Elevate Electric in Japan. We ended up seeing the Zero Alpha.
Yeah.
Nobody said this, but if you ask me, this is the Elevate Electric.
Interesting. So
it's heavily rebodied.
Right.
Because there's no exterior skin panels that are shared with the Elevate. But the frame and everything, the underpinnings, the guts of it is the Elevate.
So they can take something that looks like an Elevate and rebody it to look as radical as that Zero Alpha.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting.
So this is that, because we had a group round table with the senior Honda management, including the Honda global president. And one of the things that they said is that, yes, there is a lot of part sharing with the Elevate.
Interesting.
Because both are SUVs.
Yeah.
But this is an all new SUV. But they did admit that there is part sharing with the Elevate.
That's a giveaway. Yeah.
And that's a straight up giveaway. I asked them whether this is rear wheel drive or front wheel drive. They didn't say either. But I suspect it's going to be front-wheel drive. Now, if this were a born EV, then it would be rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do for better dynamics.
Yeah.
But if it's not, then, okay, I don't know about the e-Vitara because you've driven the e-Vitara. We'll talk about that in another podcast. And that is mainly front-wheel drive. Yeah. And that is supposed to be a born electric. Now, I don't know why that would be done. Also, the fact is that the Japanese are very conservative.
Yes.
If you look at the Europeans, they are the ones who are really pushing the envelope in these things. And Mahindra, full marks to Mahindra. They are really pushing the envelope in terms of engineering.
Yeah.
The Japanese tend to be a little bit more conservative. They go with the tried and tested, and front-wheel drive, obviously, tried and tested. Nothing wrong with front-wheel drive.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but obviously, rear-wheel drive better. So this Zero Alpha is going to be front-wheel drive, not all-wheel drive, not rear-wheel drive. Again, that's another giveaway. So I think a lot of it is going to be shared with the Elevate. Also remember, the Elevate is exported from India to Japan. And that's the first Honda that's made in India sent to Japan. For any Japanese manufacturer, making in another country and sending back to their home market
is a big deal.
Is a very big deal.
Yeah.
Like in all caps, a very big deal.
Yeah.
They're really thrilled. The Honda India management is really thrilled about the fact that the Elevate is not only being exported to Japan, but is very well accepted in Japan.
A lot of the India-made Japanese cars, Jimny.
Yeah, Jimny.
Yeah.
You see a lot of these Jimnys on the road, the Fronks.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of great pride for them. And this is going to build on that, on the market acceptance of the Elevate in Japan. And then Zero Alpha.
Brings me back to my question. So Zero Alpha is going to be made here?
So India is going to be the mother plant.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For India, for exports to other Asian countries and Japan.
Right.
And it's clearly said, India is going to make the Zero Alpha for Japan.
Okay, so that's a big commitment from Honda to India, because the fact that they're exporting it from India to Japan means it's going to be an important car in the home market. There's no other reason for them.
The fact is that Honda needs an important car.
Yeah.
They've got two manufacturing plants. Their legacy plant in Greater Noida, which right now is not making any cars.
Yeah.
And a lot of the talk again in our circles is that Honda is sitting on this fantastic land bank that has grown in value massively. So maybe they can just sell off the land and pocket a solid sum. And their other plant in Tapukara.
Yeah.
So we asked them also what's going to happen with their plants. And again, they were non-committal about anything about their factories. But Greater Noida is sitting idle. Tapukara is nowhere close to maximum capacity. So if they have to make a success of their India story, and right now they are under 5% market share, which is for a brand that's been in India for now 30 years.
And for a company as big as Honda.
Also who have got a solid reputation.
Yeah.
And the two-wheeler business of Honda is doing really well.
Yeah.
And Honda getting really close to Hero in terms of being number one in the Indian market and the world's largest two-wheeler market.
Yeah.
So Honda Cars needs a big volume product.
Now, question. Is an EV going to be a big volume product? Because today, EVs are 5% of the market. You look at the best-selling EVs in the country, they're selling 5,000 cars.
Which again comes to Honda's conservative approach and also smart thinking.
Yeah.
Unlike Mahindra, that put all their eggs in that EV basket, and that platform cannot be shared with any combustion engine. So that's why now they have another all-new platform coming, which can do ICE as well as EV.
Yeah.
So clearly, this strategy of going all in with electric and a only electric platform right now doesn't really work.
Yeah. And I think that's a global trend.
That's a global trend.
So it's not just India.
So Honda are being smart.
Yeah.
It's the same basic platform where you get the Elevate in ICE and you get the Zero Alpha in EV. So the costs, if it were to be 100, they probably are maybe 65.
Yes.
So that's smart thinking.
Yeah.
And it's sensible also, because then depending upon the mix, the market acceptance, where EV is going. And I think, end of the day, EVs will pick up.
Yeah.
You need a big gun like Maruti to come in, and the e-Vitara is around the corner. Once they come in, all those fence-sitters who were wanting to buy EVs, but should I not? Maruti making an EV will push them over the fence.
Maruti's own claim is that they see in 2030 the market for EVs to be around 13 to 15%.
Yeah, 13 to 15% of the Indian market is still a solid number.
It is.
The Indian market is only going to grow.
Correct. But then you're looking at 85% still ICE. So then if Honda is looking at their volume driver to be an EV, I'm not sure if that's the right strategy. They've probably got something else up their sleeve, right?
So they have a compact SUV, and that's going to come before the Zero Alpha.
Oh, so next year?
Very soon.
Wow. Okay.
So they don't have the WRV now.
Right, yeah.
The Elevate is exported to Japan as the WRV, by the way.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
But in India, they don't have the WRV. They don't have a compact SUV. The compact SUV is what's going to give them volumes, and that's in the works. They were non-committal about it. They were not saying anything about it, but that's in the works.
And that's an important segment.
That's an important segment.
Super important segment.
Yeah. The City, I think, is due for a new model, a complete update. The Jazz is a very important car for Honda. In any case, the City is the sedan version of the Jazz. So that also should be coming. Honda have plans to bring 10 cars to India by 2030. So in 5 years, 10 cars, of which 7 are going to be SUVs.
Right.
So there are still 3
And
cars.
these could include updates to the Elevate and the likes, right?
Yeah, sure.
Right.
It will be. It's not going to be all new cars, but they're saying 10 are going to come to India. A minimum of 10. They could also be more, but a minimum of 10 in the next 5 years.
So I think safe bet is update to Elevate, update to City, maybe update to Jazz.
Maybe a new Jazz.
Maybe. Yeah.
Though that whole market for a premium hatchback, they'll never be able to make the Jazz at, say, an Altroz pricing.
Yeah.
Right? The i20 also, I don't think they're ever going to match that pricing. The only person who really does volumes there is Maruti with the Baleno and with the Glanza twin. So I don't see that happening. So the City market also, sedans is not growing. That's also because there are no new sedans coming into the market. So that's there. But the Zero Alpha, by the time it does come, that whole market for a premium electric SUV. So we're talking about the Sierra. The Sierra EV is going to be there. Mahindra also will have something else by then. Maruti will have the e-Vitara. Hyundai will probably have their proper electric and not the ICE to EV conversion of the Creta electric. So that whole market is going to grow. And the more players that you have, the more the market grows because more people do come into it.
Yeah.
So by the time, in a year and a half, by the time the Zero Alpha comes in, the market will have matured enough for there to be a sizable volume play for Honda.
And of course, on the sidelines, the ecosystem is also constantly improving.
Exactly. So I think They will be a market.
But can we come back to that compact SUV? Did they reveal any details? Engines?
Nothing. And
naturally aspirated engine?
Honda, they're really good at keeping mum.
Turbo engine?
Nothing. So see, it'll have the 1.5 engine, the city engine. It's made here in India. So
but then it's not going to be. It's not going to get those tax breaks.
That's there. So that they also have a 1.2 version of it. So they'll put that 1.2.
Probably the 1.2.
Yeah, that's it. I don't think they're going to do hybrids, though they clearly said we have to focus more on hybrids. They said that. That one statement was made.
What is their plan with hybrids?
We are going to focus more on hybrids.
You drove some hybrid prototype over there?
Okay, so 2 days after the Japan Motor Show, we were put in Alphards.
Oh, yeah.
The Wellfire, which is sold as the Alphard in Japan.
Which is like their Innova.
Which is like their Innova.
Because they're everywhere.
Yeah. So we were taken to the Tochigi Proving Ground.
Is it Tochigi or Togichi?
Tochigi. Yeah. So the Tochigi Proving Ground, which is some 3 hours outside Tokyo, we were taken there on a Sunday. And we had this whole array of cars lined up for us. Now, there were some interesting cars. The most interesting of which was the next generation hybrid powertrain.
Okay.
Now, we drove that in what I think is the 2027 Civic. I think because nobody at Honda will confirm that was the 2027
so it was a camoed
Honda
car.
Civic. Fully camoed outside as well as inside. Apart from the fact that the gear lever was now on the column, and that is something that they couldn't camouflage, but everything was masked out. Even on the exterior, they had cladding, shading, everything.
Does that mean no more manual Civic?
I don't think there's any manual Civic because the main talking point of that was the S plus shift system.
Okay.
So now CVTs.
Yeah.
Not even with the best will in the world can you call a CVT an enthusiastic transmission.
Yeah.
There is that constant drone, that whine, that it'll drive you nuts.
They're the most efficient, but they're not enthusiastic.
They're the most efficient, but they're by no stretch of imagination are they enthusiastic. What Honda have done with the S plus shift system is they've engineered it to behave like an 8-speed DCT with properly defined shift points. So it revs, then drops, then revs up, and then drops. So you have the feel of a proper automatic gearbox, a DCT in fact.
So it has steps in its CVT.
Steps. Yeah. It's all simulated, but it has steps. So going, so like how a normal automatic gearbox would. They've also engineered a bit of jerkiness in it. When you shift from first to second to third, there's a slight kick that you get. On downshifts, you have a kind of like a rev match. When you brake hard and it's in sport plus mode, it downshifts. Like 2 gears, it downshifts.
If you didn't know it was a CVT, would you be fooled into thinking it's a...
If you are paying very close attention, you would. But 95% of the time, you would not make out.
Okay. So
it's got paddle shifters.
Right.
So it does a damn good impression of an 8-speed DCT.
Okay.
Along with the efficiency of a CVT.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Will that come to India?
We'll talk about that in 5 minutes. Now, that's mated to a brand new engine.
Okay.
Now,
Interesting.
Honda says that by 2030, with increasingly stringent emission norms, turbo engines will be gone.
Huh? Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, I've not heard that from anybody else.
Porsche just released the hybridized turbo, and I don't think that's going anywhere.
Exactly. So, but they think that turbos will be gone by 2030.
Okay.
So their brand new engine, which meets Lambda 1 emissions across the rev range, is a naturally aspirated engine. A 2-liter, naturally aspirated, direct injection petrol engine, 4-cylinder.
Interesting. That's playing straight to their strengths.
So this is going to be their next... it is their next generation hybrid powertrain.
Right.
It's mated to this eCVT, which, like I said, S plus shift transmission. It's got a newish battery pack.
2-liter?
It's a 2-liter.
Right.
It's got a newish battery pack with no rare earths in it.
Okay.
It's got 2 electric motors.
Where? One in the gearbox and...
Yeah, 2. I don't know now where it is. But 2 electric motors.
Okay.
Front wheel drive.
Okay.
Now, there will be the CRV, which will share the same basic layout. But the CRV will get a 3rd electric motor on the rear axle to give it all-wheel drive.
Easiest solution.
Yep. And this same powertrain will be shared between the Civic, the CRV, and also the Accord.
Right.
So, and this is obviously catering to North America because that is the main market for this car. So that's the whole system.
Got it.
How it functions is kind of similar to the city hybrid.
Also, extremely complicated.
Extremely complicated. Where at low revs, the engine works as a range extender where basically it is charging the battery.
Correct.
And the front wheels are driven by electricity,
E-motors, yeah.
the e-motors. At a higher constant speed, then the engine is clutched directly to the front wheels.
Yeah.
And it's only the motor, the engine, the ICE that is driving it.
Yeah.
And that's because at that constant higher RPM, the engine is at its most efficient. And that they say is best for efficiency. And then when you're sending it, the engine sends its power to the batteries and then that drives the front wheels.
I can't even imagine how. Okay, I know how the system works, but how have they simulated shift points in the CVT while this engine is charging the battery?
Others, the Japanese are very clever.
It's insane.
Yeah, whatever you say, you go to Japan, the Japanese are very, very clever. They're conservative, but they're damn clever. So they've done all this.
That's
so
insane.
they're calling it the 5th generation hybrid system.
Yeah.
It's the same as the city, but obviously a little bit more refined.
Of course. Yeah.
But it's a series and parallel hybrid,
Yeah.
both at the same time.
Yeah. They're crazy.
Yeah. So, and that's how it's different from Toyota's hybrid system.
Yeah.
So
very different. Yeah.
It works very well. You get efficiency, and now you actually get spottiness.
Yeah.
Now, this thing, they've got like a sport exhaust on it, and this is a family car. In America, they call this Campax. Yeah, it's a compact car in America, a family car. And when it bent past us, goes, whoa, it's got a deep growly sound. On the inside, it's amplified further.
Yeah.
So like brrr on the inside, and then brrr, it's making all those right noises for the enthusiast.
Yeah.
The gearbox is doing the right things for the enthusiast. And then again, like I said, Japanese engineers, they're really, really intelligent. We've always talked about torsional rigidity being the be-all and end-all of handling. Everybody, people make fun of me, for when I start my tests, it's always like torsional rigidity. What they're saying is torsional rigidity is not the be-all and end-all. Now, what they've done is they've got this different and varying stiffness materials used in the platform.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this element that, so in normal chassis, you have this element under the engine cradle that is there to give it rigidity and prevent flexing and all that. But here, it is kind of a different rigidity material. And that, when you're going around a corner, that bends. So basically that flexes. And that allows more load to be transferred to the outside wheel, which means there's more outside tire contact patch, which means better grip.
Yeah.
So their approach to stiffness is incorporating bendy materials.
Insane.
It sounds like your mind goes boof.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it does work because we flung it around that small handling track.
Yeah.
There was a stoic Japanese engineer sitting next to us who, and I looked at his feet didn't move, his hands didn't move, he didn't utter a chew or chow, nothing. And we were like, squealing the tires. And that thing handles.
Yeah.
After this, we drove the Prelude. And we'll talk about the Prelude in another 5 minutes. But I'll tell you now, the Prelude was kind of anticlimactic.
Oh, yeah?
Because this 4-door family saloon, an American compact car, damn, that thing handled. Now, I don't know how to work.
Probably because it's a generation ahead, right? And the Prelude is based on the current Civic.
Exactly. So I don't know how it'll work on Indian pothole rubbish roads. But over there, on that track, that small track, it was the most fun. It was the most fun that we had that entire day. Yeah. After doing those 3 laps, whatever we did, everybody came out grinning and saying, shit, Honda's back.
Yeah, and we keep saying that, right? Honda's not catering to the enthusiast anymore.
Yeah, so this is a Honda that's actually catering to the enthusiast. And they're talking about fun to drive. They're talking about involving all 5 senses. And that is from their press handout, where it's not just the way the car goes, but also the sound, the feel, the steering feel, that bendy material. It actually delivers good steering feel. Because when we came back after the drive, it was like, yeah, man, that it really did handle well.
Which brings me back to my question from earlier. India.
Yeah, okay. This Civic, not coming to India. Because the whole market for sedans has evaporated.
But will we get a car off of this platform in India with this hybrid tech in India?
Exactly. So that is the CRV.
Right.
The CRV has the same basic underpinnings. The CRV is what? It's a Civic with raised ground clearance.
Yeah.
And if you remember, the CRV, when it came to India, it rewrote what we expected handling in terms of an SUV.
Yeah.
We never expected a SUV to handle well. I remember the first generation Civic that came, when we went for a test, we were like, wow, an SUV can handle.
CRV, you mean?
The CRV, yeah. Like an SUV can handle. And from the first generation, second generation, even the last generation, okay, by then everybody had caught up.
Yeah.
The competition had caught up. The Tucson was better. Everything was better because of the overall package. But in terms of sheer driving, when you had the manual CRV, that manual CRV was caning that iVTEC engine. Yeah. It was really good.
It was a joy, yeah.
It was a joy. Now, when you're thinking about this iVTEC, I think Honda, that whole, you had to really rev a Honda high to get power out of it. Those days, I think, are gone. Even though this is a naturally aspirated engine, nobody really said, wow, it was revving to whatever it did. We didn't know how much it was revving to because everything was masked out. But you do feel when an engine is revving at 8,500 RPM. I don't think this does.
Also, I think the hybrid will bring in that low down torque. So you feel that slug of torque combined with the power of the engine, and it sort of creates a
effortless
flat
in terms of extracting the power out of the engine.
Yeah.
That is there. You don't have to cane the engine. But also, you're not caning the engine anymore. It's not like earlier Hondas where you caned the engine and you came back smiling. So that's not really there. But overall, the Civic, that whole platform, that hybrid powertrain, I think is really good. And the CRV will have it. And the CRV will come to India. Now, it'll come to India in 2027 because this is the 2027 Civic, which, like going by American model year standards, will be out mid-2026. But then by the time it comes to India, right-hand drive version, all of that. So you're looking at 2027 for the CRV. That is coming, but as a CBO. Now, when it comes, it'll be going up against the Kodiaq, the Tiguan, smaller Mercs and BMWs, the iX1L. That would be the same ballpark in terms of pricing and the position. Lakhs. Yeah, you're looking at that price. So would there be buyers for a Honda CRV when you could get, not as big a Merc, a slightly smaller Merc, though the BMW iX1L is
not pretty big, yeah.
It's pretty big. So that's what it'll be going up against. Yep. It's not going to have it easy, though a lot of people still do acquaint that and relate that CRV name with being a kind of premium SUV.
Yeah, but a 60 lakh rupee Honda, which is not a Type R or anything.
Yep. Okay, you talked about Type R.
Yeah.
Ask me about the Type R.
Is the Type R coming to India?
We have no comments. This is my quote from that roundtable interview.
Yeah.
Okay. From the translator, because all the Japanese management are talking in Japanese. So from the translator, we have no comment on it right now. Type R is not coming to India. In any case, the Civic Type R is being retired world over.
Yeah.
Today, Honda's Halo car, their hero car, is the Prelude. Okay. We drove the Prelude.
Yeah.
Now the specs. Ask me about the specs.
2 liter, 4-cylinder.
182 bhp. 0 to 100 in 8.5 seconds.
And it'll be going up against the likes of
Golf GTI, Octavia RS, BMW M340i.
I think it'll be somewhere in the middle of those two, considering
so
it's
I'm thinking
sports
about
car-y.
like 80, 85 lakhs, 90 lakhs.
75 lakhs is the M340i. I think it'll come in a
80
little
lakhs?
below. No?
I don't think so. Because in the UK, I think it's 40,000 pounds. So,
M340i is assembled.
Yeah. This is going to be imported.
Yeah.
So your registration taxes, all that are going to be higher. Now, one thing that they said was, don't judge a book by its cover. And drive the Prelude to actually see how nice it is. We did drive the Prelude, again on another handling track. And it's nice. Okay, I'll give it that. It's nice. It doesn't sound as sporty as that Civic prototype that we drove. Probably slightly quicker, but really can't say because you can't really compare on these things. The S Plus shift worked better on the Civic prototype because obviously that's one generation ahead.
Yeah.
It's a refinement of what was first seen on the Prelude. The Prelude actually debuted that S Plus shift. But overall, I don't know, man. See, Honda needs the Prelude in India.
Yeah.
They need
a
hero
car.
cars.
Yeah.
They need Halo cars. They need something that will make noise. The Civic Type R would have been fantastic for that. And selling 100 of those would not have been difficult.
Absolutely.
Because there are enough enthusiasts who've got the spending power and who grew up in my era where Honda were the maker of the world's best engines and a city VTEC was something that you aspired to.
And that Civic Type R looks wild. Like you look at a Octi
Wild,
RS,
it
you look
goes
at
wild, everything.
you look at Octi RS GTI, they're selling like hotcakes and they're very conservative with their styling. That Type R looks like a race car.
Exactly.
Looks like a rally car actually with that big wing on the top and all of that.
So Honda missed opportunity. They should have bought the Civic Type R to India. The Prelude, it looks nice. It's but it didn't really get my juices flowing. And I'm being brutally honest about it. No, some people would not enjoy hearing this. But the Prelude is when you have the Golf GTI, which has got 250. No, it's got more power. You got the Octavia RS, again, more power and better brand heritage in a sporty sense. M340i.
6 cylinders.
6 cylinders.
350 horsepower almost.
Yeah. So, where does this slot in? You know, unless you are like a die-hard JDM fan, then yeah. But otherwise, it's really hard to make a case for it. Now, Honda are looking at bringing another car as a CBU to India.
Which is?
The Super One.
Oh, I love that car.
You look at it, you fall in love with it.
It's too cool.
It's 3.4 meters in length.
Yeah.
The Japanese Kai car regulations. It's a little wider. It's got wider tracks.
Yeah.
And because of that, it actually falls out of the Kai car regulations because of the wider tracks. It's got these flared wheel arches. Got 14-inch wheels with sticky Yokohama Advan rubber, which really fill up the wheel arches. It's got that happy, angry face.
Yeah.
It looks super cool.
Yeah.
And we drove it on the track and I really was expecting like super things out of it. And it handles like, to use that, tried and abused cliche, like a go-kart. On the tight, twisty sections, it was huge fun to
it's
cane
tiny,
around.
Yeah, the wheelbase must be one step.
Yeah, it turns so well. It's so darty.
Yeah.
There's one bump on that track that we drove on, and over there the front wheel would skip and cheer up because it's in the air and it's stiff. So it's properly tied down. There is barely any noticeable body roll. It's also slammed low. Japan, they don't have a concept of potholes.
Or speed breakers.
You need to send some of our road builders. We should maybe do like one 747, put some lawmakers and administrators, send them to Japan and say, please, dekho, yaar. It's... Okay, really? Anyway, that's another rant for another time.
You forgot to mention one thing. It's fully electric.
It's fully electric.
Yeah.
So it's an electric sporty car.
Yeah.
Now, it's based on the Japan market N.
Yeah.
That N makes 54 bhp. It's capped according to K car regulations. This gets a boost mode. And it boosts power by how much Honda aren't saying. I'm guessing maybe it goes up to 65, 70 horsepower. They're not saying if the battery pack is any bigger. I doubt it's any bigger. So I think it's the same battery pack that is there on the N. It is quick.
Yeah.
But they're not saying what the 0 to 100 time is. I think it will just about maybe do 0 to 100 in 9.5 seconds. It's quick, but in the right situation.
Yeah.
If you're on a tight, winding road, it's quick. If you go out onto a slightly open road, very soon you're going to run out of breath.
Obviously. It's a small car. It's designed...
It's a small car.
It's got a different purpose, I think.
Exactly.
It's a toy.
It's got simulated gear shifts.
Yeah, it does.
And it also makes vroom vroom noises. So it's an electric car that goes vroom vroom and you shift gears.
So this is similar to what Hyundai did with the Ioniq 5N.
But the Ioniq 5N does a better job of it.
Okay.
So the Ioniq 5N, when you're standing still, you can rev it and it goes wong wong wong. It belts against the rev limiter. This doesn't do that.
Okay.
Also doesn't belt against the rev limiter. It will upshift for you.
Right.
So what to save what? You're not saving any transmission or whatever, but it will still upshift for you.
Yeah.
But then you still have gears and you can, in boost mode, you can play around with it. Yeah. It also has a battery temperature gauge to tell you when the battery is getting heated up and whatever. So it's a really fun, interesting, lovable car. The Brits are very excited about it.
Yeah.
It's going to go to the UK badged as the Super N. Yep, as a Super N. Rest of the world, N1. I think there is somebody else has got the N1 name in the UK. It's going to be exported to a few Asian countries, maybe Indonesia, Thailand, whatever. And they're seriously thinking of bringing it to India. Now, my fellow journalists were of the opinion, leke aao, hum khareed lenge. Now, hum khareed lenge at what price?
Exactly.
Yeah, you're going to... No, not even with the best will in the world will this come at under 60 lakhs.
Huh?
Yeah?
60?
60, 70 lakhs. Yeah.
I was looking at 30, 40.
How? The regular N, when they sell it in the UK, it's around 25 lakh rupees. Now, you look at increase, because super N, so maybe it'll go to 35, and then you also double it when it comes to India. So, say 60 lakh rupees, and I'm being like optimistic for that tiny little thing. And I don't think my math is wrong. Even
I hope it's wrong.
Fully optimistic, 50 lakh rupees.
No one's buying it at that price.
Yeah. So, I don't see...
No, yeah, I think they'll do some jugaad and bring the price down.
There is no jugaad that you can do unless there is a Japan FTA that comes that permits something like this. But there is no jugaad that you can do. You just fire up ChatGPT, put the price of the N, the Japan price of the N, and you double it and bring it. Then that's what's going to come to India. So there you go. So I don't know that even though we as Evo, as the thrill of driving, should be beating the drum and saying leke aao. But it'll come, and then there won't be buyers for it. It happened with the Civic Hybrid. It happened with the Accord Hybrid. That the cars came, but then there were no takers for it. And then management in Japan loses confidence in the market. And they say that, okay, the Indian management said bring it. It didn't sell. We had to do like a fire sale. We lost money on it. So then India will not get any enthusiast cars. You rather focus on the cars that Indian enthusiasts will actually buy.
Yeah.
Like if I were them, I would scrounge the world for 100 Civic Type Rs, right-hand drive Civic Type Rs, and just gather it from everywhere and send it to India. And that would be a immense halo product. It will definitely sell. And you price it at 60 lakh rupees. You price it at a little bit more than the Golf GTI. It will still sell. So that there is a market for. The Prelude might still have a market. Though it'll be a tough sell, but you bring 50 cars. And then between their dealers, get all the dealer principals to buy it and the dealer principals' friends to buy it. And you'll get 50 cars, 60 cars you'll sell. That's not so much of a problem. And that's how you rebuild the brand, because you definitely need hero cars. There is still some time to go before the Zero Alpha comes.
Yeah.
The Zero Alpha, I think it looks very nice, but I don't think it's going to rewrite any rules in terms of electromobility. It's not rear-wheel drive, so it's not going to be like a really cool handling car.
Yeah.
In terms of tech, the amount of stuff that you see on a Mahindra, I don't think anybody in the world can offer that at that kind of price. So it's going to be well sorted.
Yeah.
It's not going to brick itself anywhere. Apple CarPlay is not going to glitch in the car. Lights are not going to flicker at odd times. That you can rest assured, because Honda, being Honda, they will have sorted out everything. It'll be good to drive. It'll have good space inside. Honda has this man maximum, machine minimum philosophy. So it'll be spacious. But if you see, and we'll put a picture of it, if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll put a picture of it of the side view. And you can see that the rear window line, it's got a steep upward kink. And that means the rear glass area is actually pretty shallow.
It is, yeah.
So it will have to have a panoramic glass roof, if not a sunroof, to make it seem more airy on the inside.
Honda, I hope you're listening.
It'll have to have it. Now, another reason why I know that this is going to share a lot of its guts with the Elevate is because at that tech day, they also had a deep dive into the Zero Alpha. No.
The Zero SUV.
The Zero SUV and the Zero Saloon.
Yeah.
Now, these are the first two in the Zero line. Zero is Honda's new naming terminology for their electric cars. So you got the Zero Saloon, you got the Zero SUV. Those platforms also have this new bendy material to improve strength. That is a Born EV platform. And they clearly said that the Zero Alpha that you guys are getting has nothing, and I mean nothing in common with the Zero Saloon and the Zero SUV.
Except the design language.
Neither are we going to get the Asimo operating system. So Asimo, Honda's robot, now that's inside the car. So their OS is called Asimo. So both these cars, the Saloon and the SUV, they have the Asimo operating system. the India car does not have the Asimo operating system.
Okay.
So, and
Why?
I don't know why they told us that, because nobody even thought of
Nobody
asking.
would have thought of it. But and
that
why
question.
not?
Yeah, so I don't know, but in one of the things it just came out that no, it will not have the Asimo operating system. So we're like, okay, that's another note to make. And again, it's just joining the dots as to where the origins of the Zero Alpha are. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that it shares common parts with the Elevate.
Yeah.
There's no harm in it. But it's our job as journalists to dig deeper and give you the facts.
I was also
So that's
thinking,
all.
like, my first thought was, oh no, they're making a mistake, because whenever car makers have tried to do a India model and then a different global model, it doesn't really work. But then this car is going to Japan.
This car is a global model.
So it is a global model. Exactly.
So I read one of the other releases on their website, and the design lead. Now, he was quoted as saying that if we are going to be selling this around the world, we can't base our philosophy purely on the Japanese market. And so he and his team, they were dispatched to India. They obviously must have been shocked by the traffic and the chaos on our roads. And that's why we said, and he said this, that we have to give this a more substantial looking size so that the person driving feels more secure. So the styling and those swollen arches and that little beefiness in it, that is inspired by the chaos in India. Because if you look at the Japanese cars, they're all nice and cutesy, they're happy. That won't work in India.
Yeah.
Because they'll get bullied like hell.
Yeah.
So that's why this has been designed with the global outlook in mind, with India in mind, and India is going to make it for Japan. And for Honda India, there can be no greater pride than a world car being made in India and sent back to the motherland.
Yeah.
So they will put all their efforts into it. So I have no doubt that this will be a nice EV.
Yeah. So it's an exciting time to be a Honda fan.
As somebody who's been following the market for a long time and somebody who's been a long time fan of Honda, I had t-shirts with VTEC on it. VTEC kicked in yo. I'm from that generation. At least this gives us hope that
absolutely,
Honda are not thinking of exiting India. On the contrary, they're doubling down on India. In fact, the Honda boss, he said that North America and India are the two priority markets. Right? Clearly in his speech at the Japan Mobility Show. So clearly India is on the map. Now, India will grow. India is growing. Which other market in the world is growing? So it's crazy not to double down and refocus your energies on India. Honda committed to doing that. They are refocusing the energies on India. 10 cars are coming. They will be high-end cars. They're focusing more on premiumization because they've realized from that whole, going the Brio way with more affordable cars, volumes did not grow and the brand value went down.
Yeah.
So it hit them both ways. So now they're focusing on premiumization, taking Honda's brand name up, which means more premium products, which means more CBUs, more high-end products. So that's what Honda's guys are thinking of and they are working on. And I wish them lots of success. I'm somebody who unashamedly are rooting for Honda and I want to see them succeed.
Yeah.
They used to make fun cars for the enthusiasts. Look at the City VTEC in rallying, the City VTEC in racing. It's still being used.
It's still desirable to the enthusiasts. Some people still want and desire City VTECs.
Yeah, and reliable cars.
Yeah.
End of the day, proper, reliable, fun to drive cars. Nothing goes wrong. It's engineered well. So they have the basics right. Now they need to focus on the Indian market and they need to realize that the band of enthusiasts are growing. And we are the ones who really talk about the brand so strongly that then that rub-off goes into the other people, the uncles. The uncles who bought the Honda City, bought it also because we enthusiasts kept raving about it.
Yeah.
So you need to target the enthusiasts. You need to focus and double down on the enthusiasts. And then when the enthusiasts love you, we'll talk you up to the rest of the world.
True.
So I wish Honda all the best. And from the looks of it, it looks like Honda turning a fresh page, a new leaf in their book, a new chapter in their tome. And that should bode well for the Indian market. We need Honda.
Absolutely. It's going to be another year and a half or so till we see all of this action in
maybe compact SUV will come soon.
Maybe a year. maybe less.
Maybe less. The
Yeah.
compact SUV, I think, will be much sooner.
Yeah. So exciting times.
Yep, exciting times. And you went to the UK to drive the e-Vitara.
I did.
So next podcast on that.
Done.
There's no embargo, right?
It's up. My video's already up on the Evo YouTube channel if you haven't seen
Yep.
it.
So let's talk about the e-Vitara and what Maruti's plans are for electrification. Finally, Maruti's Electrica, they showed it at the Auto Expo.
Yeah.
And it's now a year. After a year, they're bringing it onto the market.
Yeah.
So I guess there's a lot to talk about. And if Maruti is getting into electrification, Honda getting into electrification, Honda's first EV, yep, it's big news.
Yeah.
But Maruti's first EV, now that is mega news.
True.
And when Maruti makes an EV, that's when everybody sits up and notices. That's the tipping point for electrification in India.
We'll talk about it.
Next week's podcast is going to be interesting. See you on the other side. If you have any thoughts, comments, what you want Honda to do, what Honda should not be doing, drop it in the comments. Hopefully, I'm sure everybody's listening. The management will be listening and reading your comments. So drop it there, and we see you next week. Thank you for listening and watching to the Evo India podcast.